Hey YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see, I am in front of my Let's Get Comfortable sign, and I have my two guests here on virtual, and we're going to actually just be talking about things that's the obvious that you should kind of just automatically know. I'm going to have my guests introduce themselves, and then we're going to get right into it.
Okay, well, my name is Brandy, the Yellow Stallion. I go by the Yella, Yella Stallion on Instagram. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Just moved here to California last year, and 34 years old. And I run an online boutique, and I do wigs, and I look pretty on camera.
I love it.
And I'm Kylie. I am 26. I work as an executive assistant. Before that, I actually worked in the event planning industry for the last, about 6 years. And then also I work as a life coach on my off time. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, that is Coaching by Kylie.
Okay, you guys have all the information. I will also add it in the bio down below. Again, this is going to be a topic about just obvious things that you should know. So we're going to jump right into it. This is All the Info with AKA Let's Get Comfortable. Okay, guys, so things that you should obviously know, I feel like should be something that's obvious, right? I feel like you should just automatically know, like, okay, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. And I feel like people just don't understand certain things that I feel like should be obvious. Like, if I'm walking right behind you and you open the door, leave the fucking door open. Like, hold the door open for me. If I'm sitting here talking about someone, or like, girl, you see her eyelashes, like, you see her ass don't look right, this don't look good, that do not mean for you to sit there and be like, oh, which one is it, that one in the blue dress over there? Girl, shut up. Like, certain things should just be common sense, but you should sit there, if you got a question, be like, girl, which one are you talking about? But you know what I mean? You ain't got to be loud with it. You can whisper. You can sit there, kind of do an eye movement or do a head move where you're like, like something where it's nothing noticeable. And I feel like so many people do not understand certain things just should be common sense. So, like, with you guys, what is something that you feel is just common sense? And is it something that you feel like I do it sometimes where you're like, people will be saying something, I'll be like, oh, which one is it, that one? Not noticing, like, damn, I said that real loud.
For me, mine's is that very thing. I have a habit because I don't be half listening to some people's conversations, and they say such and such over there, and I'm like, oh, I break my neck like I break this dang camera.
Oh God!
I was supposed to look. My bad. Yeah, that's a comment. You not. Yeah, don't make it obvious. Like that's the.
I know I've done that. Like, my friends be like, hey, look at that guy over there. He's super cute. I'll be like, oh, which one are you looking at? Oh, what? Don't look.
Like, I know, but it's a habit though. Like, it's just a reaction for someone to say, don't look. And you're like, look.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what's going on?
That's like when you want to say, don't smell that, right? Like, it smells gross, but you do it because you don't smell it.
Anyway.
Like smelling every Yankee candle. I'm going to do it, even though you say don't do it.
You know what I've tried recently? Like, with a little scenario like this? If the person's like that way, and I was like, hold on, let me take a picture of you.
I think people doing that too. They'll sit there and be like, okay, let me take a picture of you so I can sit there and
take a picture of the person behind him that you're talking about. It's like, this is what I was talking about.
Yeah, I heard people doing that, and it's, for me, I'm always like cracking up because I'm always like, everybody does it, right? And it may not be, you may not even realize you do it. It could just be where you probably told me at a point where, one, I probably just was not paying you any type of attention, and then I finally did, and I probably just looked. Or two, like, I was just exhausted, I wasn't into what you were saying, and then you were just like, girl, did you look? And I'm like, what am I looking at? So I've done that too, where I like, especially when I'm exhausted and I zone out and people are talking and I'm just zoning. And I don't forgot where the hell I was. I'm technically snoring in my head. And then I had my friend go, did you check to see who I'm talking about? And I'm like, what you mean? There was like the person in the pants and stuff. And I was sitting there like, oh, that pants right there. And they was like, girl, you ain't supposed to do that. I was like, let me tell you something. I zoned you out. I forgot where I was. You don't do that.
That is funny. Oh, I do that.
It's like you're snapping back into reality.
I was so out of it. I was like, and she was tapping. She was like, did you check it? I was like, check what? She said, with the pants and stuff. And so I was like, what pants am I looking at? And I said it so loud, looking, and the person was looking. And I was like, what are we looking for? What pants? I was just like, oh my God. She was like, it's time to go. Let's go. We grab a check. Check, please.
Have you guys ever been to like a bar or like a club with your girls, and then a guy or somebody you just do not want to dance with or do not want the attention from? You ever give them the look of like, help me? Yes.
Yes.
So you should know the look, right? SOS, help, 911.
I'm like, no, my favorite excuse is I gotta go to use the bathroom. And I just hide out till hopefully they forgot about me.
You know what's funny? I always wonder if people do. And I always wonder that too, like where people, you always see in the TV shows and in these movies where they have people are on a date and then they sit there and they're looking at something or they're like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and then they'll be like, girl, you got 5 minutes, call me in 5 minutes, like losing your mind, talking about something done happened and stuff, where and then the phone rings and they be like, oh, hold on, that's my girlfriend, she don't usually call me, so something probably going on. And it's like, and for me, I'll be feeling bad because I'm like, for men, I feel like, is this not something you would know by now? Like, it's been so played out in these movies and TV shows, and I even know of people doing it in real life that I'm like, how is this something that is it when you're like, oh, you just went to the bathroom just to go have your friend call you? That if you ain't wanted to date and stuff, they should have said that. Like, there's some men that really be like, oh my gosh,
I feel like at that point, then you're just like, yeah, I did, and just walk out. And that's
what I'm saying.
Like, calling you out, right?
I feel like too, for me, I'm 27. I ain't got time for my life to be wasted. And I'm just like, at some point too, I'm like, if it ain't gonna go well, it ain't gonna go well. But like, thanks for the appetizers, I'm going home. Like, that's it. There's no need for me to go make a whole shebang of, oh my gosh, let me go to the bathroom, and then 5 minutes later, like, oh my gosh, like my friend is calling, like she's like an emergency, like I have to go. For what? Just thank you so much. We're not vibing. This is not gonna go any further. Thank you for the appetizer. I could even pay my half. I don't even need you to do it.
And I can't even make it to the past the texting and the calls. Like,
me neither. But people move so quickly, and it's like people just be like, oh, he cute. You text one day, they be like, oh, want to meet up, and then they meet up 5 hours later. I'm like, boo, do you even know the man's last name, or do you know the last name that's on his profile on these dating apps and stuff? I'm like,
right.
They could be two different last names.
And I would say in the beginning that should be a given, like what should be obvious. I don't know if this would be like on top of it or not, is consistency. Like, where is it? Like, okay, you text me to go hang out and stuff, and then I don't hear from you from 2 to 3 days. Are we still like doing this whole dating thing? And then you pop up and say something, and then you disappear. Like, is that dating? Like, is that?
Yo,
my favorite is the one date. You go on one date with the person if you get to that step, and then you don't hear from them, and then like a month later they just pop up again, and it's like,
right,
what?
Like,
who are you? I deleted your number.
Like, who are you? Like,
I always get
that happens where it's a guy, like an ex or someone, you know, from the past, and it's been years, right? Like, never dated, whatever.
Oh.
And he texted me, and I deleted his phone number, and I was like, who this?
He's like, that all the time. Who? You always get guys that sit there and comes back all the time.
This new phone, who this?
I feel like guys always come back to like it with women and stuff, and it's like I've actually had that where I've had, because I'm a person that like if I like you and I'm for you and stuff like that, I could be talking to different people, but if I'm really liking you and I'm like really into you and stuff, where maybe you're romantic, it's certain things that you're doing that is really like into, getting me into you and stuff, and is really into my soul and stuff. Like I could go all out for you. It doesn't even matter how long we've been talking. But if you do me wrong and you tell me to like, for whatever reason, like, oh, I'm too attached, or like for you just do me wrong and stuff, in the sense of like you act like you don't care for me, or what my feelings don't matter, stuff like that. I am done. Like when I'm done and I'm over you, you know what you need to do. Like Jay-Z said it, you know what I mean? In the song with Beyonce, in order to get her back, he had to sweat her. Like you will sit there, you would have to do things where I would sit there and be like, I can't even say no to you, man. Like I can't. But once I'm done, I'm done. And you will think it'd be obvious that after a few months, once I like haven't talked to you, friends wise, dating wise, like your number is deleted. I have guys that would write me. Like I had one that wrote me months later. Don't forgot who he was, because I was just over him. I'm moved on. And he wrote me and he was like, this is this person. I was like, who the hell is that? He had to show me like 3 pages of text messages just so I could remember who he was. Like, swear.
Wow, he was forgettable, huh?
Yo,
Right.
once I'm done, I'm done. I don't got time for that. This is not a comeback situation. Like he had to, he was sending me so many messages, and I'm like, I don't know who this is. He had to send me pictures, text messages, everything. And I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? Like, what you want? And then I had a one night stand for the first time in my life. Never did it again though. And we talked. We realized we was actually on the same cruise at the same time. Everything to the same exact location and everything. He was literally just a floor below me. Like he was, my floor is up here, his was right here.
Wow.
And I think he posted photos, and I had saw it on the app. It was like years ago, probably like 2012, 2013, when I was in my community college. And I had saw it, and I was like, I was on that same cruise. And he was like, yeah, we went to this. And I was like, I was on the same cruise. So we just had that thing. And then, so we met up. He used to go to my school and stuff, and we met up. And then we had sex, and then we moved on. Tell me why I had got a message, probably like, I want to say maybe 2015, 2016, from this man. And he was like, hey, this is this person. We had sex and stuff like that. I was like, do you want to give me more information? He was like, this and this and this and that. No idea who this man was. And then I had to go into my archives because I was like, what the fuck is this? Finally figured it out. I'm like, this can't be this dude from like 4 years ago. There is no way. I'm like, from like 3-4 years ago, no way. And it was him. And he like sent me a picture and stuff. And I was just like, oh, wow, you're in the military. Okay, cool. And then, but I just started acting like it wasn't me, because I had my old phone number at that point. So I was like, okay, I'm sorry. And he was like, yeah, I just, I wanted to talk to you and stuff. And they all say the same thing, how I was such a good person, but they wasn't ready for me and my type of love that I could give. So they just didn't want it. But now that they're older and they're in that maturity stage, they want that now. Then they always be like, so we go back to you because you gave that to us when we weren't ready. I swear to God, every last one of them say something similar. But with that man, I acted like it wasn't even me. I was like, acting like I was some old man. I was like, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm not sure who you're trying to reach out to. I'm a 70-year-old man. I just got this phone number. I'm like, I hope you find her though. Good luck. It seems like you really do miss her. You messed up. And he was like, thank you so much. I did. I really wish I would have realized that she was such a great person and who she would be in my life. Like I realized like my maturity now, and I want that back. And when my mind went to her, and he was like, I hope I can find her again.
Oh,
I was like, bitch, this ain't Cinderella. What the bye. But they
seriously, someone I slept with in my freshman year of college, did not date. Then we happened to sleep together again a couple of years later. And then after that, he still didn't really want to date, but I was at the phase of like, let's date. Like, I'm ready to date someone. Then I got a boyfriend, but it wasn't him because he wasn't at that stage. And then he's like, oh well, now I want to date.
Bye.
Like, I ain't waiting on you.
I'm not even kidding you. Have not talked to him in probably 4 years. Came back. I'm still in the relationship, right?
Mhm.
He came back, I think, not even 6 months ago. And I was like, who is this? Again, another person. I don't have your phone number anymore.
Exactly.
And you know how he wanted to remind me of who he was? We had sex. That's how he wanted to remind me. I'm like, and what do you want?
Like,
What do you want? I'm
okay.
still in the relationship. What do you want? He's like, well, I really messed up and you were really good and I really want to date now. And I'm like, bitch, go
I'm
find
in a
someone
relationship.
else.
Goodbye.
I gave you a chance. I gave you 2 chances. Like, go. Find
Y'all
another girl. I don't. Go ahead.
Did you hear something funny? Okay, so this guy apparently in college, I messed around with him, right? He's a cute thing, but those years was a blur. I was like a naughty McNaughty, right?
Yes, honey.
I feel that.
He literally hit me up like right before I moved here last April. And he was like, we need to hang out and whoop de whoop whoop whoop. And I was like, hang out. So I looked at his Facebook because us women, we got alerts. So I looked hard.
Oh.
And I see one of my
Curiosity.
cousins, y'all, I see one of my cousins from Arkansas as one of his our mutual friends. And I was
Mhm.
like, so how do you know such and such? And he was like, oh, she just one of my Facebook friends. And I was about to say, y'all ain't messed around or anything because that's my cousin. He said, well, no, I didn't, but if we did, it would have been like, oh well. And I was like, no, why? No.
No.
He was like, what? Matter of fact, I think, ain't we related? And I was like, what you mean related? And then he would, well, at the end of the story, he made it seem like we were cousins. He was like, no, I'm just kidding, because we already messed around. And even if we were cousins, we already messed around. But do you still want to hang out? I was like, hell no. No, like, you just, no, why would you?
Oh no.
Yeah, it
That's
was
just
so
ick. I don't like that. That's ick.
weird. It was weird. And I was like, now, well, yeah, now if I had the inkling that I want to hang out with you, you don't really pretty much fuck that up. Because, yeah. And I haven't heard from you in years from college. Oh, and we messed around. That
No.
could have been my cousin. You could have been my cousin. No, that's no. Just leave it. Just leave it.
God. That
You're
is
no
that,
better than to
that's
say
so
anything
that's
like
where he
that.
went with that. Like that was where
We
he went.
didn't know. And then that was like last April. He recently hit me up on Facebook again 2 weeks ago, asking, "Can I borrow $300 for something?" And I didn't respond back. And I just so happened to look the other day, and he blocked me.
Why would he
Like,
block you? It should be the reverse, right?
These men though be like so fucking butthurt. Like
they're weird.
really do.
They're weird. I'm scared to.
sensitive.
I'm scared to date, y'all. I'm scared.
I'm like looking at the time, making sure
The good men are rare these days.
Obviously, I think all the good men are like hiding out.
You gotta look where you don't expect to look.
Especially out here in Cali. Like, what's the dating scene like out here? Like, what's
No.
going on?
Oh man, no. I feel like these dating scenes anywhere just be having me fucked up. I just don't even be bothering. I'm like, I just be getting my career. I came out here for a career, not a man. I ain't got time. I'm like, I don't even got time for half of this stuff. It's like you like somebody, it's like they kind of like you or they do like you, but they don't want to sit there and tell you that they like you. And then it's like, I don't have time or
it's the ones that can't communicate or even know what they want. Like, okay, this one dude did approach me about 3 months ago. And then like the first day he was like, after we hung out, he was like, we should go exclusive. And I was like, so meaning like I can't talk to other guys and what? Like, we only hung out one time.
Oh.
You want
Okay, so like, what's one?
I don't even know your last name.
Oh my god! Well, what is one thing that you think that it should be like really obvious for guys, like for in the dating scene? Like, what is probably like your top three that you're like, this should just be an obvious thing that I don't understand why men just don't understand it. Like, I'll ask you, Kylie, because I believe you're still in your relationship and stuff like that. So, what is like the three things that you will say is like, babe, why is this not obvious? This should just be an obvious thing.
For me in general with guys, and this went, across any guy I dated, and it still applies now. Honestly, just tell me how you're feeling. Just tell me. I don't care if it's mad or sad or disgusted. I don't care. Just tell me. Because then I'm going to play the guessing game, and it's going to be in my head that it's 10 times, 100 times worse than it actually is. Or it may not even apply to me, but I am one of those people to be like, I did something wrong if he's not telling me that something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to do it, but we're kind of conditioned to be that way a little bit. Another one, I would say, that's probably the top one for now. Actually.
Okay.
That's my top one.
One, communication. That's good. Communication. Because, I mean, nothing else will fall in place without the communication. That's the one thing I've been having to deal with. But I would say another one, don't ask for money. Like,
especially like the beginning. Like, don't ask for money.
Like, literally, y'all, I think that's just me or something. Because literally, every guy I have tried to date, and the times I have dated, it got to a point where a guy would ask me for money. Like, I am a single mother making it on her own. Why would you ask someone that's like me that you barely even know? Why? Have y'all had that experience?
The very first boyfriend I had, my very first boyfriend I had, I literally paid for everything. I was working part-time. He was not. And
oh no,
obviously this is illegal. I was 16. He was about 18. So yeah, of course, younger girl wants to date the older guy. Never do it. And, I was the one working part-time trying to make some money. And then I realized after I did, I'm like, I paid for freaking everything. Dinner, movies, going out with our friends.
Oh no.
And it's just like, never again will I do that. Ever.
Yeah, please do not. Oh my God.
No. I'm down for paying half for things. But like, if I get something, get it next time. I'm not going to pay twice in a row.
Exactly.
Never. Yeah.
I guess with mine, it's for sure, that's all of ours is that communication. I think with mine, communication is key and important. But I'm also like, if I feel that my feelings aren't, I guess, reciprocated or appreciated, I do kind of lack in that communication field. Because I'm like, well, if you don't care about my feelings and they're not kind of reciprocated in some type of way, I don't care to communicate with you. You know what I mean? But I do like that communication. If we're on the same page, if we're friends, we're dating and stuff like that, that communication is really huge for me. Something popped up on my screen.
It was like an upgrade minutes thing.
We removed the 40-minute timer. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if you don't have the subscription to Zoom, they kick you off at like extra 40 minutes or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So I got another one.
I'm sorry?
Oh, go ahead. I said I have another one, but go ahead.
So that's kind of like my main one. And I guess the other obvious one is I don't know if it's like obvious and stuff like that. To some people it is, some people it's not, like, but my whole thing is like I'm like very truthful and very like out there with what I'm saying. So like I'm not saying something and then it means something different. You know what I mean? So there's some people, like, especially on these apps, where it's like, I'm like, no, I want a romantic man. I want a man who, I don't need the whole Kylie Jenner roses all on the floor bleeding all the way up the stairs because nobody's cleaning that up afterwards. Thank you very much. But something it nice and sexy and romantic where I'm very like homebody and stuff. So if you sit there, I have a bath waiting for me and we have a movie with dinner and stuff like that. For me, that's a romantic and it could be romantic. You know what I mean? But I was on these apps and it was like, oh, you were serious. You really wanted romance. Oh, you were serious. You really wanted a relationship. What I say, I mean, it's not a joke. It wasn't to sit there and get you to sit there and come talk to me. Like, I meant exactly what I said. So I don't know why that's not an obvious thing where you're like, that should be obvious. I don't understand where you got confused because I ain't get confused because I wrote what I meant. So I'm like, why is that not obvious to men? Where if I'm writing what I'm saying, it's what I mean. You know what I mean? And but it was like the weirdest thing where it's like, oh, that's what you really meant it. Yes.
Is it that stereotype that women are more complicated? Like we never say what we mean because it is a stereotype.
Girl, you almost made me say a bad word on this. Can we say bad words?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I'm about to say, girl, what the fuck ever. I think men are complicated and don't know what the hell they want. Because, like, literally, I am the most, maybe it's to a fault, but I am the most transparent person with any and everybody I come across. And go back to these men that I've dated again. You can't even tell me, honestly, if you still dating other women or are you still, like, where's the honesty with any, like, yeah, like, you can't be honest with yourself about stuff. Like,
it is just hard.
Complicated.
Like, it's like, oh, but why? Why make things? And it's like, it goes back to that maturity thing where certain things won't be obvious to certain people in a serious situation, right? Because we said before, where people like, yeah, girl, you see that person with the pants, and you be like, which one? It's stuff like you just that instinct where you're like, which one you talking about? But for stuff that's really serious and really like, okay, this should be obvious, and this is what should just be. It's like, why is it so difficult? Like, I don't understand why something that should be so small of communication, of making sure, like, this is what I meant. I didn't say something and then I meant something different. I meant that. I meant I want to communicate. I meant exactly what you're seeing me. And I'm very, I tell you what I mean. Like, that's what I mean. Like, and it's like, you would think that would just be, well, duh. But it's like, it's not a well, duh. It's a, well, oh, you really meant that? And it's like, why was that something that wasn't an obvious and something that wasn't oh yeah, she means what she says. Like, what woman y'all dealing with that they giving you a whole runaround where you got to sit there and act dumb when somebody's telling you something?
And I just remember me and my brother had a long talk about this, but the one thing that stood out to me, he was like, even he said men are complicated because it's like, okay, the men, they want what they can't have, but when they do get what they want, they don't want it anymore.
Exactly.
How much more complicated can that get? Like, you have everything in the package right there for you, but then when you got that whole package right there for you, perfectly well done and did, you don't even want it anymore. Like, it can't be more complicated than that.
It's the whole thing of the chase. That's what they were saying too. Like, I think some women say they do it too, where it's like, it's basically the whole gist of it is it's a chase. So it's like, okay, I want to see if I can get, so, oh, she's with him and stuff like that. I want to chase after her. I want to see if I got that good stuff, if I'm good enough where I could romance her, do all of this stuff where she could be like, yo, I don't want my man, I want you. You know what I mean? And then guess what? I got her. I'm going to keep doing it for 3-4 months. And then bam, all right, bitch, I don't want you no more. Bye. I did what I needed to do, which was get you. I got you. I knew I was good enough where I could sit there and play these games and you will leave your man of 5 years to come be over here. And I'm successful. Now you can go bounce. And that's all it is.
Men are complicated.
But Kylie, what was your last one that you wanted to say?
Oh, it basically just went hand in hand. It was basically when a girl is talking and she's trying to tell you how to make things better. It's a roadmap. Like, so you can get on board with either getting into that relationship they want or what we want, and then also fixing it if there's a problem.
Yes.
We give roadmaps because we're honest. We just tell what we want. And like I do know a few girls that are, not exactly straightforward. Not all women are straightforward.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They rather play that game, and I'm like, don't play that game. Don't play
Right.
it because
That's
no
what I'm
one's gonna
saying. I
win
don't
in
want
the
to play the
end.
game. I don't want to play the game.
No. It's men are not mind readers. Everyone should know that. Like they're not. And if we try to make them think they're very like black and white when we're talking. In some of my experience, it's like just say what you mean in the right tone, and hopefully it gets across. But if it then gets lost in their brain, I can't help you.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Well, you guys, that's the end of this topic.
Aw.
This older
Girl, we can keep going.
I told you we need some wine.
Right, for
I
real.
know we're gonna do like a wine thing next time. Like I'm gonna have like just a group chat about just wine and all the different types of wine and stuff. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna make that up.
Red and white.
Very future for me,
Lovely.
okay? I am having dating. Well, not that I even tried. I tried dating 2 people out here, and they have failed
How did
horribly.
you meet them?
Well, the first one, he was my best friend's upstairs neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah, he pretty much like broke it off because he was like still head over heels for the girl that left. I got the whole backstory after the fact.
Oh, yeah.
But now he hits me up after 12, like, hey, what you doing? And then
After midnight.
after midnight,
Oh, there's some balls.
keep me by myself the next
Hey,
morning
you
when I
up?
see it. I'm like, oh, I'm asleep, my bad. How's everything going? Crickets. And then this last
I used to
all
wake
the
up to
time.
texts like that. Like
girl, and then this last one, he was the one that was like exclusive. Well, we tried to chat it out and date a little bit more after that, and come to find out that he's screwing somebody at work, his job, and yeah. So I guess a fake profile of one of the girls messaged me, was like, girl, he messed with such and such, and this girl, I was there and she came knocking on the door. It was a lot of mess. Like I was like, I give up. I don't want to have to do this.
Oh my goodness.
I had the
I'm
worst
sorry.
experience today because I'm like, I just don't get it. I'm like the most transparent person. Like what you see is what you get, and what you gonna hear. Like this is just me.
Yeah.
Screw it. But I don't get that. Like you said, reciprocate that. They don't reciprocate the same energy. Like
It is so hard, and it's like you gotta
when
just
do they
keep
grow? When
trying
do you
at the
grow
same time because it's like so damn hard and it's difficult as hell. But like I said, guys, we gotta close this out because I think this Zoom call gonna end on us soon, anyways.
Okay.
But I just want to say thanks for coming and talking about this, and we're gonna do a wine girl chat soon enough. But thank you, you two, for watching. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this segment, and stay tuned for the next episode of Let's Get Comfortable. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Bye.